Hello, welcome to La Casa. Take a seat.
And feel like home.
Hola.
Feel like home today with us two destroyed ladies.
Yeah, to be fair, it's been, honestly, we're still in March, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it has been a year, these 3 months.
Yeah, for
Don't
real.
you think?
No, for real.
That's crazy. That's crazy because I think December also feels like a whole year.
I agree.
So many things happening, but whatever.
Yeah.
Truly, there has been some energetic changes in the world or something, and we are in Aries season already. I mean, we were last week as well, but I can definitely feel the
Aries season.
for sure,
Girl,
for
I feel
sure.
it.
In the sense of, I think there's a lot of me not knowing shit, talking like I know shit, but okay, bear with me.
I'm an Aries. I feel it, bro.
Right. Because since Aries is the first sign of the horoscope wheel, the horoscope year starts in Aries. It doesn't start in January with Capricorn or whatever. Capricorn starts in December, but you know what I mean. So there's a lot of feelings because when something starts, you need to say goodbye to the things in the past.
Also, Aries are babies. We're like
Truly that.
we
Also that.
really can't control our anger.
That's very true as well. So I feel like there has been a lot of people feeling stuck and also feeling like they need to leave behind shit that is like pulling them down, if that makes sense.
This is like a perfect
Exactly, girl. That's why I'm saying this. This is
thing for our topic today.
our topic today is breakups.
Yeah.
Actually, about this, when was it? I don't know. At work. I was at the office yesterday, and one of my coworkers was saying that all her friends were breaking up in March.
Someone else told me that.
And there's like this March theory. Actually, no cap, I didn't do any research about this March theory being real. I feel like it tends to happen. I will say why I think that. I feel like most of the time in the past, since I can remember, like some 10 years ago or so, that I was like conscious about it, Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde have like coincidido, you know? So I think when Venus is in retrograde, I actually don't know if Venus is in retrograde right now. Mercury stopped being
but
in
Venus is the
planet of
planet
love. So yeah, that's I have seen this before, like not necessarily this year, but I have seen this before that exactly March or so people tend to break up, like relationships tend to break up, not people. But maybe it's because other types of breakups aren't talked as much as romantic breakups. But yeah, they were saying that people now were like, I think it kind of makes sense with what I said at the beginning.
I always broke up in spring.
Sabes? I mean,
Always.
it's also very poetic, I think, low-key. Like, I have broken up in spring and in summer, so, like, I don't know. But also, spring is where things bloom, and maybe if you were in a place that didn't feel right, then nothing was gonna bloom. And, like,
And you knew
everything is asking of you to bloom, to grow and stuff. So,
Could be.
yeah. My question for you, Hannah, is when was your first breakup?
Okay, so my first breakup that felt like a breakup was a friendship breakup.
That's exactly the answer that I
have
wanted
a
to
take
say.
on this. Yeah, I think I kind of touched on this subject in an episode before. My take on seeing people in podcasts talking about their friendship breakups that felt like a breakup. Mostly women that do that, I have to say.
Triple ojo pelao.
My take on that is that it was always a bit more than friendship in that situation.
I agree.
Because if you feel like it's comparable to like a relationship breakup in that sense, because I've lost friends afterwards, friends that I really liked, friends that were close to my heart, and it didn't feel like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I agree.
The first breakup that I had was with one girl in Frankfurt. We were best friends for like a long time, and then one day she decided to like quit the friendship after like 3 years of us being friends. I still, to this day, have no explanation for it. But I made up my own explanations, which is also something that maybe we have to talk about later. The whole thing about, do you have to have like someone explaining why it happened, or can you just let it go? Because of the whole theory of like, if a snake bites you, are you going to chase after that snake and ask why they did that, you know?
Period.
Because that fucking breakup, it took me like a solid, I would say, 5 years to recover from it. Like 5 years for sure. And it felt like heart shattering, but because we were only friends in that sense, I didn't really frame it as like a real breakup. I was like crying and stuff, but it didn't feel like a breakup.
You couldn't process it in the same way.
No, I couldn't.
Yeah.
And so that was like the first one for sure.
I feel like my first breakup, it's like I feel like when I was in school, I had a bit of friendship breakups. But I will say something that it might be my most toxic trait, or maybe not. It kind of depends. Like, I think I have only had, this is so awful to say because I think it makes people feel really bad, but I have avoidant attachment. Like, I don't have avoidant attachment. I am avoidantly attached to things. So when things end, most of the time, it's like, lo que es para ti ni que te pongas, no, ni que te quites, lo que no es para ti ni que te pongas, or whatever.
Like, in the sense of, I wanted to talk to you in German for a second, in the sense of, yeah, you're breaking up, and then you're just like, all right, whatever, like, it's whatever.
Yeah,
kinda.
like, the only time that I had, like, a big breakup, like, I mean, I think they were all big breakups, but like a heartbreak was maybe with my first boyfriend, and it was basically, I think it felt more like just anger, like suppressed anger after a lot of like things happened. I didn't feel sad about us breaking up. It was more of like I put up with so much shit, and I broke up with him, and so it's not like the decision was made for me. Like, I made that decision, but it was like it had to get into a point that it was like completely unsustainable for me to be like, okay, I need to break this up. And that's kind of what angered me. And I think I spent like 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks, being like sad, angry, resentful, and then I was like, I don't give a fuck anymore, to be fair. Like, it's not that deep. It's not that deep because this person really hurt me, so it doesn't make any sense for me to be like holding on into something that was not good for me, if that makes sense. And when I was at school, I had like 3 friendship breakups, but I have always been, and this is my toxic trait, I think I have always been like very desprendida. It's like, for my friends breakup, it's like, oh, so maybe you were a bitch all these years. Huh? Who would have thought? And then I just go on with my life. I think that's kind of sucky, to be fair, but I don't know how to face it in any other way. And I also feel that it's not healthy. Like, for me, it's great. Like, to not like be dwelling on past feelings like that. I can dwell on other things, but like in those past feelings about whether a thing finished or not, I feel like that's not also too healthy, you know? I don't know if that's
Maybe
true.
not all the time. I think I got that way. Because with my first breakup, I was like hurting for a long time, but I think I was like trying to look for answers. And I was also going through the process of like, who am I? You know? My second breakup was my first girlfriend. We were together in total for like 2.5 years. And in the end, it's no one's fault, but we were not made for each other. Not at all. Like, not at all.
Yeah.
But I had the first time of like being like, I wanted to make it work so badly. Like, so badly. And so...
We've all been there.
Yeah, I tried like really hard. And she broke up with me. And I remember I was crying and I could feel my heart ripping.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
That was like the only time. And then the second time we broke up, I was like, whatever, what the fuck. And I feel like progressively I've gotten more to that point because, I don't know, I feel maybe you're right about the point of like, maybe it's not good for you. I think it's also kind of like a self-defense mechanism.
For sure.
But also it's like, I'm happy with myself. I know what I have to offer. I know what I have to give. I know what I give in relationships. I know what I give in friendships.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to match me there, or if you're willing to let that go and not work for it, I'm done.
See.
My last my last girlfriend, I thought like she could have been the one. Like we had like such a strong chemistry and connection, whatever. When she broke up with me, I was like, okay,
Sometimes
that's it.
it'd be like that. No,
Bueno.
I totally get it because I mean, it's kind of hard. I did feel like that in my breakups. The thing is, for my first one, I felt like that because my first boyfriend cheated on me. And that was the beginning of the end, clearly. I stayed for like a couple more months because it was a complicated situation for me, but after like the last drop of the glass, or how you say that expression in English, I was like, yeah, no, I gotta fucking leave. But that moment of like that last moment of the last drop, like the last conversation that we had before I had to be like, sayonara, I need to go. I felt literally what you're saying. Like the insides of my body
crazy, no?
were shattering. Like I felt completely empty inside.
Yeah.
I felt like I was a shell of a person. Like literally, like nothing. It's like I had smoke in my body. Like no, I didn't have a heartbeat. I didn't have blood going through my veins. It's like I was fucking dead in that moment.
I understand that.
And in my second breakup, I think the kind of person, as Hannah said, that when I agreed to be in a relationship, I'm gonna try really hard to make it work. I don't know what making it work looks like, but I think like I still try to give my all for us to be okay. And in my last relationship, I was like completely out of it, like 3 months after the breakup. Like I was like, I couldn't do it anymore because there was a lot of things that happened, and I ultimately felt the same way. Like I didn't think we were a good match. I think the love was there, and like obviously we were two people who had a good heart, but it was just not there, let's say. So when we broke up that afternoon, I was like, oh my god, this feels awful, like somebody's pressing your stomach, or like you have this heavy weight on your chest. But I felt very relieved because it's like I don't think this was just going to like make us suffer even more. So I was really relieved, but I also felt like shit, and that was the only day that I felt like shit. The other days it was like it's so weird. Like breakups are like, we talk about it like it's just that moment, but it's like little moments before that big breakup and a lot of moments after that breakup. You know, you have, I don't know if this has happened to you. I think it has, because I think it's very universal that after 1 year of breaking up, something happens in your brain. It's like it has happened to me twice already because of my two boyfriends that I have in the past and my ex-boyfriends. It's like after a year, there are some things that you start realizing which make you feel some type of way. They make you feel sad. It makes you like, it's not necessarily like reliving it because you are probably like okay and onto another stuff, but you get like a period of time where you're like really thinking about that person, and you're really thinking about how it went down, and you're really thinking about and you kind of like feel things again, not for the person. It's just like thinking again, like okay, no, like this was so shitty, I shouldn't have acted this way, this person shouldn't have done this to me, that type of thing, which is kind of, it's a bit messy, I have to say. So I would say that I don't necessarily think too much about breakups 3 months after they happen, but from time to time something will come back, and it's like, damn, that shit was hard, you know?
Yeah, no, I understand. Maybe it's also the more you like yourself, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
In the sense of, like, I know what I want now in a relationship, and I would never ever want to lose myself in it.
See.
But when I was younger, I lost myself in relationships for sure. Like,
I think everybody has to go through that phase. Maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't met the first
apparently
person.
there are like my parents. They met when they were 16 and 19, and they're still together.
I was talking about this with my mom because in Venezuela, I don't feel like you see a lot of that, in the sense of when I came to Spain, I also studied like in a very specific university. It was an Opus Dei university, so there was a lot of people who were like big believers and shit. And a lot of my friends, their parents had been together since they were like 16. That's crazy for me. Like, I have never seen that in the wild. I know of relationships where they met as they were working together, like at 25, 26, and they still together after like, you know, 30 years, which I think it can be done, especially because after 25, your frontal lobe develops, or that's what they say. So I think it's like, okay, you can make a more informed decision, but when you're together since you were like 16, 17, it's like...
In my family, that's normal.
Yeah.
Like all people in my family.
Do you think, I mean, because what sometimes I picture in my own relationships is that life is very long. Like, as short as it is very long. You go through so many things. This is like maybe worst case scenario. Sorry, because I am this type of person. But it's like, I think about what's gonna happen in my relationships, not just my partner, but especially my partner. Like, if I go through something awful, if I get into a car accident and leaves me traumatized, or like I lose a capacity that I have now, if I lose any of my parents, like, how is that gonna affect me and therefore my relationships? Obviously, thinking about that, everyone that I interact with can also have that same experience, you know, like, you can be friends with someone. I think maybe we were talking about this, I'm not sure, but about like when your friends, I think it was not long ago, like when your friends get married and start having babies, it's like that also changes them as
about that,
people.
yeah.
So it's not realistic to expect that the person that you choose to spend your life with, they're always gonna be the same exact way.
Yeah, but that's what people say about relationships, and I agree with that, because if I'm in a relationship and I get to the point, like, for example, now, I thought about that. Now I've been dating for a long time, and even with my ex, like, I wasn't in love with her. And it takes me like a long time to be in love. But if I'm in love with you and I want to be with you, I'm gonna try to make it work, like, for real. But I also feel like now I know what I want in a person and what I'm looking for, because I want someone to not complete me, but to be there and witness my life with me. Someone told me that, and that was like so beautiful. Like, they said, I think essentially we're on this planet and we want like a relationship because we don't want to be alone. We want someone to witness our lives. They read that somewhere, and I think that's like such a beautiful thing, because that's also why you're in friendships and stuff. You want people to witness your life, and you want people to like talk about you, to if something happens to you, to be there and to tell stories about you, you know what I mean? Like, and I think if you're really committed to someone, like, you have to be aware of the fact that the relationship will change, the person will change, you will grow together, and it can be possible that you grow apart. But I am looking for someone, for example, that is willing to grow with me and try to grow with me, you know? And if you really grow apart, then so be it, you know what I mean? But just in general, someone that is like not delusional and thinks like the way we get into the relationship is the way it's gonna be forever, because it's not.
That's kind of the thing, because also in this podcast we like to talk about what it's like to go through your life in your 20s, and sometimes like I really wonder like how possible is it for people to be together forever, because I try to keep this in mind as much as I can, understanding that it's hard, obviously, sometimes, that it's like, okay, we want to get into a relationship, or I'm already in a relationship, but it's like we have this need of like sharing our life. It's like you are getting to know yourself, you are figuring life out. So many things can happen where maybe it's not like you're not the best you, let's say. Or maybe you're the best you today, but tomorrow you are the worst that you have ever been, because whatever happens, you know, there's so many things that are uncertain, and I don't know if I see it like in my other relationships, and even now it's like, can I really be in a place, like, can I have like infinite patience, if that makes sense? Because I feel what I actually wanted to say with all this is that in the past, or not too much in the past, I think maybe it's just a cultural thing, but I think it was mostly seen in the past, relationships lasted so much. And I always wonder in those types of relationships, knowing that of course there are awesome and wonderful and beautiful relationships with people who were clearly meant to be together, but it's like, how many, if there's a marriage that has been going for 40 years, how many of those years were awful years? You know? I was talking about this with my mom today, actually, and she was like saying that she thinks, well, my mom, she's divorced. She didn't have a really good marriage, so I understand why she's saying that. And I don't know if she knows any examples that she can really like see and be like, oh, they were such a like dream couple. And she told me that she thinks it's because people get used to and they don't want to feel lonely, which I don't think it's a valid enough reason to have a relationship. I mean, I think yes, but at the same time, maybe that's a bit selfish. And usually in relationships, I'm thinking that you should be a little bit selfless because at the end of the day, you're sharing stuff, you know? Mm-hmm. It's hard to be selfish when you, to me, it doesn't really make sense to be selfish while you're sharing stuff.
I think sometimes if it's years, that's horrible. I remember when I was like in that relationship, my first one, we kind of acted like a couple. We were like really, really close. And I was constantly fighting with her. Constantly. Yeah. We were like fighting.
That's fucking crazy.
And I remember...
For a friendship, huh?
Yeah.
O sea, más claro, agua, chicos.
My dad was saying, we were in the car, and my dad was saying, you know, like, if you love someone, you have to stick with them. Like, you have to stick, you decided to be there, and
that's
years
kind of
and
like...
years. And it's like, no, I don't think so. But if I look, for example, she's only my best friend, but my best friend is like my sister, and we had years where we went through really hard things, but just in general, the communication and stuff works. And relationships are different, but I would be okay with having a relationship that is exactly like the one I have with my best friend, besides I'm attracted to that person. You know what I mean? So I think it can work. It just needs... It's so hard because like communication styles are so different. You really have to like compromise. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You have to compromise. You have to understand the other person. You have to understand like what are your needs, whatever. That's also why now that I'm not in a relationship, I feel like I'm ready to fall in love again. But I know it takes me time because I'm a guarded person. But if I commit to you, like I commit to you, doesn't mean that it has to be forever, but it means that I'm sure that it's like a good match for the two of us in that moment, and I hope that we can drag that for like a long period of time, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the things that are like the most important things, like communication style, stuff like that, how I want to be loved, because no one got that right until now. No one. I'm such a giver. I would do everything for my girlfriend, but like not a lot of people are willing to give that. And I think people are also fine with only giving and not receiving that much, but I want the same back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I also think that is kind of complicated because people who are okay with giving and not receiving that much, are you okay?
Yeah. No.
You know, like I in good faith cannot stand besides that, like
no.
Or behind that, whatever. Because it's like there's something I think in your self-esteem. Because it's
I agree.
Okay.
I did that before, like in my last relationship.
It's okay for some things. Okay, this is easier for me. This person doesn't have like this type of like ways of doing it. It's okay because I can give it to myself, give it to this person, whatever. But when it's like usually like that, I think it's hard. But also I think there's a lot of people, and I say this because I'm fucking crazy, my fucking head. For me, there's no fucking way that I would get into a relationship with a person and be like for me to be like, this is a relationship, this person is my partner, you know? And it's like it lasts two months.
That's crazy.
You know?
No.
That's kind of like, what type of choice were you making, or what made any person of this relationship be like, you know what, I'm fucking leaving. And on one hand, it's like, if you see like after 2 months the things are not gonna work out, it's totally fine for you to break up. It's better than just keep it going. But I feel like there's a lot of people, and I've seen this, not I don't know, like by experience or like for sure, but it's like something happened and they're like, that's it, I'm not gonna do this anymore. Which is like, okay, work, get your coin, but whatever happened to commitment, you know, to trying to fix things. But then you get into the other side of the spectrum where you are beating a fucking dead horse, you know? That's why I stayed 5 years with my first boyfriend. It's like, did it really need to be 5 years? No, it could have been 2. It could have been 3. And I knew it was not gonna go anywhere, you know? Like, I didn't have to spend 5 fucking years of my life.
Yeah.
But I was still trying, like, I don't know what the fuck I was hoping, to be fair. Because there's also this thing. I don't date thinking about I'm gonna be with this person forever or I'm gonna get married with them. I usually like just get in a relationship.
You're always saying that. She said that in like a million fucking...
No, but it's like I get in a relationship being like, I like this person and I wanna try.
Yeah.
Period. It's not like, oh, I really see. Maybe that's my issue, you know. But I'm 26, you know. Maybe if I'm 30, I'm gonna look at it different. But it's like I'm not gonna think, can this person support me through hard times? It's like maybe, probably, it will depend on the moment, I guess. Can I build a family with this person? Am I absolutely certain that this person, that I can change my mind and then I can just fucking break up and date other people and things like that,
but the thing is
know?
also like, I feel like even if you're friends for like a long time, you won't know that person in a relationship. And it's like, of course, some things have to be aligned. So if you know 100,000,000% I don't want children, and you know 100,000,000% that person that you're dating wants children, that's a problem. And
Yeah,
I've had
for
that
sure.
loads of times because people
I don't know why
are
people
like,
get into that. Like,
yeah, but so
why
many
would you
people
that to
do, and then they're like,
See?
oh, we're 4 years into a relationship,
That's
and now my
fucking
partner's
crazy.
like, I want kids, and the other person's like, I told you 4 years ago, I don't want any kids.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's
for
fucking
real.
crazy, yeah.
But I think everything else you'll not know, you know, like
That's kind of the thing. You
it's
try
the
to
same
make it
in-
work,
Yeah,
but
it's
you don't
the
know for
same in
sure.
friendships. Like I feel like you just have to, you have to find someone that you truly want to spend your time with, and that you feel like that is good for you in a sense, and you're good for them. But you never know. You have to try. You have to try.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. But yeah, it is also true that I feel like what I meant to say with the people who was like, after 2 months, I'm just gonna like leave it, is that I feel like a lot of people maybe don't want to try. That's kind of what I was getting
No,
at.
I
It's
think
like
so.
they expect everything to go like super smoothly, and like relationships are hard work.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be awful. It shouldn't feel like something very heavy. Obviously, there are moments where you feel like this is
but
not
one
working
thing,
as well. But it's like,
one thing happens and the person's like, oh no, and then ditching out.
That's kind of the thing, because I think, like what I was saying, in the past, a lot of things happened that were really bad, and people were like, but I can't leave for whatever reason. So it's kind of like
women were also way more dependent on men.
Obviously,
whatever,
like, but like in the sense of people, like younger people, you know, that it's like it shouldn't be like this. It's more like a cultural thing, let's say. But yeah, it's crazy, and I do have to say that thankfully I haven't got like a very bad friendship breakup story. To be fair,
That's good.
yeah. Also, I feel like there's also family breakups, which is a heavy topic on itself. But I feel like a lot of people don't have that in mind, because it's hard. It's hard. It's very hard to like have a break, like a conscious break. Like these people are not good for me, and that the people in question being your family, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell a little friendship breakup story, because I feel like I don't give too many explanations. Like when they're friends, I used to feel like.
Do you think it was like a real friendship breakup, or was it like there could have been more friendship breakup?
No, it was a real friendship.
Okay,
breakup.
got it.
No, like that's what you were saying at the beginning, of like people who feel like they have like this really big friendship breakup. I have felt like betrayed and be like, I cannot believe this happened. It was never like earth shattering or anything, because we didn't have anything going on. It was just friendship, you know. Thankfully, like, yeah, I haven't had like that type of breakups. She was one of my best friends around, like, we were friends for like 3 years or so, and it's like we used to do everything together. We used to like have so many sleepovers, blah blah blah. It was like we were really, really close.
Yeah.
And I felt like I had so much in common with her. It's like I felt like not necessarily like we were the same person, but it's like we understood each other very well, blah 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 blah. Okay, context. We were 15, okay? So don't take anything like it's not that serious, maybe thinking about it now, because we were children, but like in that moment, well,
I feel like it's more serious though, because like in that moment you feel it very seriously.
I was shocked, but then I realized, damn, I'm a cold ass bitch for real, because she was, like I said, like very very close to me, and like I used to help her any chance that I get, that I got, etc. And it happened that I was kind of like not dating, but I was kind of like vibing with a guy in our class. It was part of the friend group or whatever. And everybody knew that we were kind of like feeling each other. Like we were just like, I don't know, talking and seeing where it could go. We were 15, okay? So it's not like...
You were getting married to her.
Yeah, it was just like, and I didn't have like that much experience dating. So it was kind of like, I don't really know how this shit goes. And he didn't either. So it's like, okay, we like each other. We talk a lot. We like are very like lovey-dovey with each other. But it's like, I don't know what this means because we're 15. Well, the thing is, there was this thing called Ask.fm.
No.
You know Ask.fm?
Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit.
Irreparable damage has been done,
bro,
to teenagers because of Ask.fm.
What was that bullshit? Like, for
bueno,
real?
chamos, yo no sé. I don't know if that bueno, I think it would get famous right now, like if it gained some traction. The point is, I was kind of like seeing this guy or whatever. And obviously, my friend knew. She would ask me, how are things going with this? She knew, like, okay, there was this challenge in Ask.fm that was like typical image of like, send me a number, which was linked to a question, like, who do you think is the prettiest? Would you date me? Would you kiss me?
Bro,
Would
for real, emotional damage.
¿Sabes lo que te digo? Bueno,
sí.
total que... The guy that I was seeing, I think, posted that picture. It was not just like sexual stuff. It was also like, maybe we should hang out more. I really like your vibe. Things like that. But it had like kind of like cheeky things here and there. And he posted that, and my friend, like, obviously all of this is anonymous because that's how Ask works. Like you can ask questions and be anonymous, let's say, or the person simply just got like the answers or whatever. And it was like she was asking him like, would you kiss me? And I was like, this fucking bitch. Obviously he told me, like, that this girl is like telling me this on Ask. And I was like, vaya. So that's how we were playing. So obviously I was like, what even the fuck is all this? I don't remember if I confronted her, because for me at that moment it was like, what is this bitch gonna say? No, I'm sorry, I thought it was a different person. Or it's like to hear a fucking excuse. So I was kind of like, if this is how she wants to play, fucking go ahead. I really don't give a fuck because I'm 15 and even now I know that I'm not gonna fight over a guy. Like, I literally don't give a fuck. If you wanna go fuck this man, go fuck him. I literally don't give a fuck. Like, if he fucks you, then he's like, but I started to be a little more distant with her, and she would be like, we almost don't see each other anymore. You almost never come to my house. Like, is everything okay? Blah blah. And I was like, yeah, girl, whatever. I'm just busy. Okay, I was too avoidant back then. Like now, I would have said something like, "What the fuck are you doing behind my back?" Like no shade. I don't want to hang out with you anymore just because you're this type of person. And there was like, after this happened, like, I don't know, the week after or like 2 weeks, I got sick and I didn't go to school. And I had like two of my friends, other friends, send me pictures of her being like all over this man. And I was like, girl, you're so stupid. Like, you're so fucking stupid. And literally after I saw those pictures, I was like, bet. And I never talked to her again, ever.
But babe, to be honest, like, I don't think that... I think maybe other people would have been more upset or whatever, but I kind of understand you.
Obviously, but for me, it was kind of like, girl, we were friends, like really good friends for 3 years. And for a fucking man, I can honestly say, like, right now, I wouldn't be her friend. Like, simply we're like different people, and it was gonna come up eventually. Like, no hard feelings. But it's like,
no, but yeah.
Still, it was like, oh, these bitches are fucking bitches,
I think you have to see this amount of shit to be like, okay, people are like this.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, nah.
Yeah.
That's how I am with like dating people now.
Yeah.
I will try, but if you give me shit, I'll be like, okay, babe, bye.
Yeah, it's like
okay.
I think that's
it.
kind of like the best way to handle it. Maybe I'm more of a ghoster because I always feel like I don't know, I'm not anybody's judge. I'm not saying this is the right way of doing it, but it's like I'm not God to tell you what your sins are. It's like whatever. Like for her, I think for her it was really shocking because I don't think she expected me to like drop her so bad because it's not like I dropped her for that man. I really didn't give a fuck
but
about
what
that
the
man.
hell is that?
But it's more like if you're this type of friend, after so many times that I have fought for you or whatever, it's like I don't need this. Like it's awful that this is all coming because of a man, but you know, it's
That's crazy.
it's just the way it is.
I
And
understand that.
that's that. And I know that for some years she was like very confused. She tried to like approach me, but it's like when I don't really give a fuck anymore about someone. I mean, when they wrong
I think
me,
that like happened with the girl that didn't talk to me for 10 years, but I
Yeah.
literally didn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like,
That's the
ghosting
thing.
is crazy. Like, I mean, maybe I overstepped her boundaries or whatever, and she couldn't say it in the moment. But the thing is, like, nothing really happened. Like,
Yeah.
nothing really happened. We were like in a fight, and we were so close, like so close. Like seeing each other every day, having sleepovers, like the same. You know what I mean? Like being really, really, really close. And she didn't even like. We spent one more year in school. That was like I think the worst thing about the whole thing. One more year in school. She was like also one of the popular kids, so everyone was like up her ass.
Yeah.
I was like okay-ish, whatever, with being there, but like she didn't even look at me with like her back. Never.
That's
Never.
very
Not even when like our teacher was like, oh, we were like out there to discuss our grades. That was like hilarious. We all had to go out to discuss the grades. You know, when you all sit in the classroom, the teacher goes out. I don't know if you do that in
No.
Latin America. We do that in Germany.
¿Cómo es la
Bueno,
vaina? A ver, explain.
Like, babe, you sit in the classroom and then you also have to rank yourself, your grade that you think you're gonna get. Terrible. Imagínate, they're gonna give you like a bad grade and you're sitting there full confidence being like, good grade. It was the
But
worst
why?
thing ever.
What's the explanation
Germans,
of this?
please. I don't know what they wanted. I think they wanted to traumatize us.
Right,
to be
like
honest.
literally, what the fuck? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
that you can like kind of grasp your performance maybe.
Pero que coño madre.
Yeah.
Bueno. En fin, entonces.
So we had that. We were like all sitting in the classroom.
So, okay. You sit in the classroom.
Exactly.
You're like, I think I'm gonna get an 8 in physics, whatever.
Right. Then you go out. Your teacher sits outside, and she's gonna be like, "Hey, so what's your self?"
Okay, but you have to tell the whole class that you think you're gonna get an 8.
No. You go out and you have like a one-on-one conversation with your teacher.
But the rest of the class knows.
They're just like they're just gonna sit inside. So,
Oh,
you know,
okay,
like,
okay.
whatever.
Woo, okay. I was
Yeah.
not doing that.
No,
Okay.
bruh. That way, because I had one teacher. I told her like I think like I'm gonna be like at a 10-point scale. 10 point is like good.
Okay.
And she gave me 3, which is like malísimo.
Okay, because in Germany it's over 10 or over 20?
15 is the best. In
okay.
the high school, when you're like the last years in high school, is like 15 is the best, 0 points is the worst.
Oh, okay. In Venezuela is 0 is the worst, 20 is the best.
Okay, got it.
So like 10 is like, okay, you pass.
The first in preschool is like a 1 is really good, 2 is good, 3 is meh, 4 is 5 is like and 6 is you failed.
Oh, okay. That's crazy, but okay, period.
Yeah. So imagínate, we were like all sitting in there, and of course they were like going out like alphabetically. So the last names, people had to go out alphabetically. This bitch was going out. She came back in. She said no name. We sat in silence for 5 minutes. The girl next to her was like starting to be like, who could it be? Who could it be? Who could be next? And she was like, her name was like one fucking letter in the alphabet before mine. So she was like, maybe Hannah. I went outside. I was like asking our professor, didn't you tell her that I have to go out? He was like, yeah, I did. So she couldn't even come into the classroom.
That's
be like,
fucking insane.
Hannah, you have to go out. She never ever looked at me again, which is insanity.
Yeah, that is very. I mean,
Like,
something.
bro, that's like crazy.
That is crazy because I feel like I would do that only if something very, very horrible happened.
Nothing. Like I
No, but also like you guys, like if this girl would have been the one that I told my story, I don't think I would have been ready to tell her. But it's not like I never spoke to her. It was just like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
You know, like we're not close anymore. Maybe you don't know that we're not close anymore, but we're not close anymore. But still, it's not like
She was an heir for you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's whoa, that's whoa.
That was crazy, yeah.
That's crazy.
I was like, sayonara to the fucking town I lived in. In winter is gonna be the reunion of my fucking school.
Oh, I think
Ni de
that's crazy.
coña, bro.
That's crazy because obviously, like, if there was a reunion at my school, which I think there might have been already one, I'm not sure. I think, no, sí creo que sí. Es que no sé, because I don't care. Entonces, es como que I forget.
I don't care as well, but I'm nosy. Like, I would like to go there and be like,
No, because, like, honestly, I'm not gonna go to Venezuela just to do a fucking high school reunion because I'm gonna, like, all of you are losers now.
Yeah.
Not that I'm, like, not a loser in some aspects, but it's, like, it's different. I don't have anything in common with that type of people anymore, so it's, like, I don't give a fuck. But, I think... high school reunions are so awkward because everybody's just doing it.
I am not going. Like, fuck that
is
shit.
just doing it because they are nosy as well. Because they want to see how you look like now, what you're up to.
No, these bitches, like, when I came out, I'm sure they'd be like, oh my god, I knew it all the time. She's gay. I knew it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I wish I would have known.
That's crazy.
So, yeah. All the tattoos that I got, all the piercings, I would really want to shock them. But I'm not gonna go.
¿Sabes?
No way.
Wow, es que,
no way. We
guapa,
got together, baby.
Sería lo mejor. Sería lo mejor. Viviría por ese drama. Yo, without understanding anything of German, being like...
Period, babe. Period.
Ay, Dios mío, qué bueno.
We have like a little bit more time to think about it if we want to show up there.
When is it?
December. No.
Bueno, ojo, ojo. Qué bueno, Germany in December.
No way, bro. It's really
Me
not.
muero, Pero bueno, en fin.
No, like, to close the breakup thing from my side, I have to say, it's kind of funny because my two best friends were visiting. One of them is married, actually, yeah? They've been dating since they were like 17 and 18 years old. But they're like a great couple. I think they match really well. And last year was the wedding and we've been talking all together. My other best friend, she's so single, like just like me, maybe even more. I don't know. She's not very much.
No shade, Laura, no shade.
No, she's like the greatest girl ever, but I think the guy, she has to flash her or she's just gonna be like, oh, you're so boring, baby.
See,
I'm talking to you.
I'm
talking to you 2 minutes like, oh, no.
Her aura is kind of like, it needs to be good. It cannot, she's not gonna, she doesn't deserve like any...
No, and she knows that, which is...
Period. No, she's
I'm
the best.
so happy.
Laura, te queremos.
Yeah, for real. But they were both like, we know you're gonna get married and like one day. I kind of have the feeling that's gonna happen. They were like,
that's crazy.
You know, we know you're gonna get married one day and we're gonna hold like a speech. We're both gonna be crying, but we're also gonna say like, bitch, what the fuck was that? What the fuck happened here? Like,
that's fucking
we're here, which
crazy.
is grand, but like, what?
Can I imagine you getting married? I know that you're a lover girl at heart. So
I am.
if you were with a person that means, like, makes you feel really good and you know that it could mean something to them, you would absolutely do it, hands down. And you would be, like, happy to do it as well. So I don't think it's impossible. It's just having a hard time imagining. Would you wear a dress?
I think I would wear a dress.
You look so cute. Obviously, I'm gonna be the one who throws the flowers.
Obviously.
That's great. I don't know if I'm gonna get married one day. Probably not, because I just feel like no. But maybe
because I just feel like no.
No, it's not really my thing. But I do feel like I would do, like, if I'm like 10 years with someone, I would do a big party. Like, come celebrate a decade of us, you know? And I would invite people. That for sure, because obviously I'm a Pisces. I love celebrating love.
That's why also the main thing why I would have a wedding. Because the people there would be so great and it would be fucking humongous.
Okay, but in your wedding, we have to play the pretzel thing where we hang it from the walls. That's gonna happen for sure. If not in your wedding, in your how do you say? Despedida de soltera.
Oh, no,
Si
no.
llama, hombre, que no.
Bro, I can tell you, this is like the cringiest thing ever. I fucking hate it. How do you say it in English? Bachelor?
Yeah, bachelorettes. Yeah.
Fuck this. There's so many ways to make me unhappy with like a bachorette party, like for real.
Okay, but what about the? Wouldn't you like the? Wouldn't you like the pretzels?
Yeah, we can do the
Okay,
pretzel.
gracias. Gracias. It could be so much worse. I could like invite a stripper, a male stripper. I would love that. Actually, I might do that for Hannah's bachelorette. Just
I know
because it would
you're
be so
gonna
funny.
ruin the vibe.
No.
Baby, yes. Yeah, I think
It would be so funny to see like a half-naked man dancing to Hannah. I can just imagine her face because she doesn't really like that much attention on her.
Yeah,
So
fuck
it
it.
would
I
be
hate that.
it would
I hate
be
that.
hilarious, but it would literally be like a torture form for Hannah, and we don't want her to suffer,
No,
especially
thank you, baby.
after like when such a special day is coming up. So I will think about it, and until we get there, I think I have some time.
I think you have some time for real. A couple years, So, yeah. And I think I'm glad. The most important thing is like that I have great people. And if I ever have to go through like a chest ripping breakup again,
Yeah.
I know I can do it.
I also have to say, like, to conclude this episode, that it's very true what they say about breakups. Like, it really does feel like the world is ending.
But it never is.
And it never is, which is something that I think wakes you up in a way. Also, what you were saying before is like, I think you can have like one big breakup, and I think the rest are a little bit easier. I don't know if this is true. I can imagine that when you break up like with your first partner in school, it's not the same. Even though you feel like shit, it's not the same as if you break up with someone and get divorced after 15 years together. You know what I mean? Like, maybe obviously it's different. I think everybody tries to avoid that feeling, but I feel like it's also important to understand that you need to have bad days to really appreciate the good days, also to learn more about yourself. Like, I feel like most of the time we think we are so sure about how we are gonna react in some types of situation, how we would feel in some types of situation, but then you get into the situation and you learn that actually you had no idea. So that's kind of, I think, why I also tried not to dwell too much on breakups, because it's like, this is all part of my journey.
Yeah.
And they're absolutely necessary. Like, absolutely necessary.
I agree.
So yeah.
We'll see you next week. And if you're going through something hard, like a breakup,
Eso.
it's gonna be better for sure.
It gets better.
It gets better.
Also, one other thing. I feel like some people feel like they only have a certain amount of time to feel bad about something. It is true that maybe if you feel like you're having struggles to get over things, maybe you can ask for help regarding that, like mental health. But like, it doesn't have to take you one day to get over things.
Also sometimes it comes in waves and stuff.
Exactly.
Just
like, be patient,
be
because
patient
the
with
heart
yourself.
is really, it's a muscle, and you need to train it for things, and you also need to give it rest. So
talk a lot about it to your friends.
Eso, it really helps.
Get a lot of hugs and a lot of love from people there, like not your ex-partner, obviously, and you'll get over it. Don't go back with your ex.
We didn't talk about.
No, we're gonna do a second episode.
Sí.
Sex with your ex.
Okay, dale pues.
Bueno.
Thank you so much for listening,
We
and
love
we'll see
you
you next
and see you.
week. Bye bye.